guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Melissa and this is my plant room, all redone, all painted and rearranged. I'm really excited to show you around and update you on everything that I did in here, and I'll share more about the paint color. It's crazy looking back at the progression of this room. In 2022, when I first moved here, it was carpeted, just a normal bedroom, and I think it was in 23 or 24. I don't quite remember now. I think it was in 24. The carpet came out and then the flooring went in. I had this whole wall of moss poles and so many big climbing philodendron in here. Now this space has become a more curated space and I love it so much. So for those that don't know, if you're new here, this room is what I consider my plant room. It's only about a fourth of my collection. I have so many more plants that aren't in here, but I have a lot of my bigger monstera, alocasia, and some philodendron, just some other various plants. I've always had the Milsbo, but I just added 2 more cabinets in here. And I got rid of a big shelf and I kind of switched some things around. I will say I'm like 90% done. I'm still rearranging and I have more plants to bring in here in that room. Some more of my original plants. So if there's some plants missing, they're in that room or I just completely downsize them. I have chopped several plants over the course of the past week while I was painting and everything. I said goodbye to some plants and I chopped them all up. I'm going to node prop them, and whenever they're gone out of my collection. I feel like over the years, I really have just come to know what plants I like and don't like growing. And yeah, this space just feels so me. I love the color so much. It's crazy because the gray walls just felt so muted after having this color in here now, and everything pops. It's such a beautiful color. I'll also give you a little bit of footage while I was painting. I didn't film that much. I honestly just wanted to paint and get it done and rearrange kind of on my own. My husband built the cabinets for me, which I'm appreciative of. And I did all the painting by myself. I ended up doing 4 coats, 3 coats of paint and then 1 coat of primer. The 3rd coat of paint happened, I wasn't going to do a 3rd one, but because the 1st coat went on a little bit lighter than I probably should have put it on. By the time the 2nd coat fully dried down, you could still see a little bit of the color peeking through. It wasn't opaque quite enough. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna have to do a 3rd coat of paint. So painting took like 3 days, I think. I ended up painting the trim twice because of course I painted it initially and then I got some blue paint on the trim. But painting was a lot of fun. Actually, I enjoyed the painting and the color. Just because it's like a dark saturated color, I felt like it needed that 3rd coat for sure. But I love how it turned out and everything. So the paint color is Sherwin-Williams and it's number 6489 and it's called Really Teal. The color shifts a lot depending on the lighting and the camera, of course, because if you look at it some ways, it looks like it's more of a darker blue, but in a certain light, you can actually really see that teal color. This is the 7th sample I landed on. It was meant to be. So I actually went to the Sherwin-Williams paint store to get this one because my first set of samples, I went to Lowe's and I got 4 initially and I swatched them on poster board and I hung them in different spots on the wall and I immediately eliminated 2. Out of the 2 that were left, 1 ended up looking a little too dull. It needed more richness, and the other one was leaning too blue. It was just not what I was quite looking for. And so I went back and got 2 more samples and I swatched them. Immediately I knew, like, no, I have not found my color yet. And so I went online, I'm like, you know, I really want the color from Plant Tome, that plant shop in Hawaii. And so I was looking online of like a really like bright teal, rich, moody, more green leaning. This color has more of that green gray undertone versus the blue, if that makes sense. And I was looking online and this color popped up and I'm like, this is it. I knew immediately that this was the color. So I went to my local paint store and got a sample. I swatched it on the poster board and instantly fell in love. I hung the sample in here against the other ones and I'm like, yep, without a doubt, this is the color. This color wasn't in Lowe's either, so I'm really happy with it. I love it so, so much. I'll see how the camera does. You can kind of see it's leaning more blue in the background right now, but in the front, it's more of that true teal color. And I'll try and get different angles, and maybe I'll try and get some footage with my iPhone so you can see like the actual true color. Because right now I feel like it's not really showing the true color, but it's such a bright, beautiful teal. Love it so, so much. I am painting the nursery room with this color. Probably in a couple months, maybe like 2 to 3 months, I'll take everything out because I want to paint that room too. I feel like it would be nice in there. I already mentioned that filming sometimes is a struggle with all the artificial lights against all the white and gray tones. So I feel like this color moving into there will be perfect, and I feel like it would make the nursery room pop as well. So I'm excited to paint that room. But I'll need a painting break for sure. This was a lot of work, but I was also rearranging and chopping plants. I feel like in that room, it'll be much easier. So yes, that is the color and how I landed on this one. I feel like it's the perfect match to that plant shop that I wanted. I was really, really hoping to get an exact match. I'm actually curious if this was the exact color that they chose. It's really similar. So I'm so happy with it. I love it. I love it so much. And yellows, yellow variegation, Aria variegation is opposite on the color wheel of this teal. So yellow pops, like really, really pops. It makes me fall in love with yellow variegation even more against the blue. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip the camera around and we'll give you an overview of the space, and I'll kind of go through and talk about all the changes and kind of give you an update on all the plants in here. And I'll do a walkthrough of my entire collection probably next month in May. I was going to do it for this month, but because of the painting and everything kind of getting out of sorts, and since I'm giving you an overview of the space, it'll give me a few weeks to kind of finish rearranging and stuff in here. And then when I do the walkthrough, you can kind of get a feel for the space again, and then I'll go through my entire collection and update you. So look for that next month. Okay, so I'm standing at the door, so immediately looking straight ahead, you can see the 2 cabinets. Those are Milsbo wide cabinets, and those are brand new, so those weren't in here before. And the shelf that was at the window is now over on the right-hand side, and I'll show you that here in a second. And the other bigger shelf that was over there, I completely broke that down, so that one is no longer in here. I honestly hated that shelf, so I love this setup so much better. And honestly, that's really it, you guys. As far as changes go, everything else is pretty much the same, except I moved plants around. I still have the Milsbo right here on the right-hand side. That's still in that spot. I still put Micholitziana back in that corner, and I put that artwork there instead of above the IKEA cabinet because I put a grow light up there with some plants. And then I have Big Elbow back in that corner still with the artwork on this side. And then I still have the other shelf here with the begonias on it. But yeah, I did downsize some plants, and as you can see, the right cabinet is empty. I'm pretty sure I'm going to use that for propagations or rehabs or more alocasia props more than likely. And then the cabinet on the left is some of my newer plants and begonias that I've shared with you. And that one is keeping, right now it's like 82% humidity. I did weather strip both of those cabinets, so I'm going to try and keep one of them at least 80% so I can keep some begonias happy in there. But yeah, I love the cabinets so, so much. I've never owned a Milsbo wide before, but I love my Milsbo tall cabinets, and I think the wides are beautiful. I think I like the wide more than the Rudsta because I have the Rudsta in my, you know, my Hoya area over there. But I love, 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 love the wide cabinets. And then I did switch the curtain rod out, and I hung some like white curtains just to give a little bit more of a feel, a different like vibe in here. And I don't have blinds in here because of the south windows. I really wanted as much light coming in as possible. But if I'm in here late at night, or if I want to lightly close the blinds or close the curtains, I can, just for privacy. But I feel like it added a nice touch, and I like the gold against the teal as well. And so there is big Monstera albo in this corner. I left that lampshade the same grow light and everything. And then the artwork, I did switch them around a little bit in different positions. And then that shelf is the same with all those beautiful begonia. And then I have some other Monstera and I have Marble Queen here. That is that side. And then I don't have anything hanging up over here. I did have a grow light, but I took it down when I had my moss poles here. But I still have the standing grow lights in front just to provide some additional light there. And then here is the Milsbo. This is exactly the same. It is now an alocasia cabinet. And do you see that teal popping through with the grow lights? So that bright teal, I feel like it's more of like the natural color it is behind the cabinet, like that bright color is what I'm seeing throughout the room. But yeah, back to the Milsbo. This is an alocasia cabinet now. I have all alocasia in here, and I'll go through all the plants more closely and everything with you. And then what's new is, so like I said, I had that artwork up here. I took the artwork down and hung a grow light. And I have 3 more alocasia on top of the cabinet. I don't know if I'll leave those there long term, but I just put them there for now. And I felt like I wanted to utilize that space for plants, and before I didn't really have a good setup for that. So I'm really happy with adding a light here, and the artwork just kind of got lost behind the plants anyway before, so I'm glad that I moved it, and I really love the setup now. I took some plants out of here, some bigger plants, and so I feel like I freed up a lot more space, and I do have plenty of room in here for more alocasia props and everything. I'm really, really happy with how it looks. Ooh, you can see the blue against the window, the sunlight coming in. And then, like I said, in this corner, I actually did hang the same grow light, a new one up here. And the lampshade and shelf that was here before, I had a shelf from IKEA, and then I had 2 other shelves where the artwork was, and I wasn't really using them. I had 2 big Syndapsis plants. But I ended up taking that down, and the Syndapsis I moved out of here. I actually put at the entryway, and the grow light that was in this corner with the lampshade, I hung out there. I can pop some B-roll on of what it looks like. And so I felt like the shelf, I wasn't really using it, and it was getting in the way of Micholitziana. And I love that it's not so cluttered here on the walls. I mean, I could add something here, but I don't really feel like I want to. That way when my plants grow, they can kind of grow up, you know, towards the top of the wall over here. But yeah, Micholitziana, I got her stuff back in the corner, and I put a couple plants kind of on the floor down here beside them. And then I have another little grow light, clip light on the shelf right there, kind of leaning down towards these. But I'll show you more closely here. And then this is the biggest change, is adding this shelf here that was at the window. And I put some of my bigger plants that were at the window here. And I still have the same grow light that was here before. I just moved it over a little bit so that it's more centered. But look at the beautiful color and the plants. I absolutely love this setup now compared to the other shelf. And I can put some of my bigger plants on top like I have. Now I am gonna have to rearrange because once these Monsteras start growing, I can't leave them here. You can actually see my Tycon is getting ready to push a new leaf. And that plant is going to be huge this year, you guys. My Nobilis, I have 2 alocasia on risers. They are going to get huge as well. It's funny because my Nobilis right there was against the window, and so I can never see the front of the leaves. And now that I moved it, I'm like, I can appreciate the plant more. She's the one that had the babies, the berry that was pollinated. And so I have her seedlings in the cabinet here. I can give you a peek at them, but I am making a separate video on that. And this is what I meant when I said I'm not really finished, because the plants that are on this shelf, like in the middle 2 rows, I kind of just put there. I'm not really set on the position of them. And then I have another grow light here that's not on a timer or anything. I had some extra light, so I just have it there for now, just giving some more light to kind of this corner. I may eventually get one more grow light. I could hang it up here. I do feel like this corner doesn't get quite enough light, but I'll see how it goes. I ended up moving my Mandula pole here because it's so long. It was on the other wall behind me. So I do feel like that's the perfect little spot, and it doesn't block the door. I can still swing the door open. I just have a couple plants on plant stands right here that I would eventually like to move those so that I don't have those plant stands right in front of the shelves. So this is still like a work in progress, but I can't tell you how good this space feels coming in here. And then that little table that I film on and the pink chair, what I'll probably do is move it to the center of the room here. I just don't have it in here while filming. I'll use that to water when I'm doing plant care, and then when I'm filming, I can just come in here and film with it already being here. And I had a huge table of props, which is out in the hallway. I'm still working on potting those. I don't want to move that back in here because I don't want to clutter up the space. I'm just gonna have to limit myself on how many props I have. When I chopped my jungle mint recently, all the props are out in the dining room. So I have so many props going right now. I did chop several plants. I downsized a couple alocasia, my reverted regal shields, and my Yucatan princess. I do have new genetics of regal shields, and I want to grow out a couple of its babies to hopefully get a good plant that maintains really good variegation. So I downsized the reverted one. The Yucatan princess, I didn't really love anymore, and that one, I do have some babies, some corms that sprouted when I last did a corm dig on her. And then, you know, that plant, I'm not going to grow out as a mother plant anymore. I'm trying to think if there were any other alocasia. I think I did downsize maybe another one or two. And then I do have more alocasia in, like I said, in the other room that I'll probably eventually bring in here since I have a lot more room in the cabinets now. And then what else? I downsized philodendron. So in the other room, I have my Splendid, my Glorious still. And so I'm leaning towards keeping Splendid and moving Splendid in here. And I ended up chopping up my Sorderoy. It was huge. I was on my story and I'm like, I can't stand the nectaries anymore. It was so sticky. And so I chopped it all up and I'm going to propagate the nodes. And once those are gone, those are gone. So I said goodbye to that one. I decided El Choco as well. I had the top cut and it was regrowing, but I have all the nodes still that are sprouting new leaves. And so I decided I'm not going to grow El Choco anymore. It was so big, but I just don't have the space in here, and I would much rather let my monsteras and alocasias get big. I do love philodendron, I really do, but I have fallen more out of love with big climbing philodendron, and I like more of the self-heading philodendron. I've noticed, like caramel marble, I absolutely love that plant. And I have a strawberry shake that's growing back, and I like Micans. I like my red Anderson and pink princess. I like those type of philodendron, and I still love the leafy big climbing phylos, just not as much as I once did. So I let go of Sorderoy in El Choco. There might have been another one. Oh, I decided to downsize Esqueleto Monstera since I have my Adansonii. I let go of that one. I chopped it up. And what else? I'm sure there's more. So if you see some plants missing, that's probably why I downsized them, or they're in the other room. Like I said, I do have more plants that are in there, but you'll see when I do the walkthrough for next month. So yeah, let me go ahead and I'll start with the Milsbo and we'll go around the room and I'll give you a closer look at everyone. Starting up here is the Heterophylla. This is the Aria. It was a little bit thirsty this morning, so it's a little bit curled. I did go through and water some plants this morning because it had been a bit since I put these in here and watered them. And then I potted up my Frydek. This was one that was in the cabinet, so I potted him back in pon, and hopefully, hopefully it does well up here. It might be too much light, but I'll see how it does. I did pot up my original Cupria as well. I put it back in pon. I have 2 stems in there, and it looks like it's getting ready to pop 2 new leaves. I love Alocasia Cupria. It's probably one of my favorite alocasias. And I have the variegated versions in my cabinet here, but hands down, one of my favorites. I just think it's the coolest, one of the coolest plants. I love the funky leaves. And then let's open the cabinet. So this cabinet is not weather stripped. It's 48% humidity. It's saying it's 84 Fahrenheit, which I don't think it's 84 because it's only 77 right now in the plant room. So I feel like because it's under the grow light, it's reading a little bit higher than it should. But humidity is that's about accurate. All right, on the top row of the cabinet, I have a little mister here of just water, and then these are my Nobilis babies that I'm growing out from seed. when she had 7 berries. So I'll give you a little peek. I do have some leaves. So I'm making a separate video on this, but it does dry out pretty quickly. I have them in moss, so every day or every other day I come in here and like mist so that they don't go completely dry. So that's why that's in there. But I don't want to take them out or disturb them yet. And then I just have some corms in here that are growing. And then over here I have my Mellow and then my Maharani Albo. My Mellow is the newer one, and this one just put out a new leaf right here. This one kind of took a bit of a hit after transferring to pond, but I feel like it's stabilized now. This one's probably going to go soon, but the new leaf is pretty variegated, so I'm excited about that because those were kind of lower variegated leaves. And then Maharani I've had longest. This is the newest leaf, and it's definitely sizing up. It did have a little bit of purple tones that have now faded, but I just think these texturized plants are so pretty, and I like that this one hardens down to like a bright white color versus like a creamy variegation. You know what I mean? I love I love the pure white on this. So absolutely love those plants. And then moving down to the shelf is my my Capria babies. I do have a couple other plants here. This one is my pink mint that I grew out as a corm from a tissue culture mother. And this newest leaf has now kind of hardened off here, but you can see a little bit of the pinky minty tones. And then I also have a TC one here that is not doing good. I bought this one first, and then I just didn't want one that was grown from tissue culture, so I ended up getting corm grown ones. But the TC one, the last 2 leaves are going full albo, which I have heard TC alocasias can do this quite frequently where they go full albo, and mine is doing that, and I feel like the new leaf is probably going to do that as well. And these ones here are kind of yellowing a bit. I've had this alocasia not quite a year. I don't think it's been a year yet, but it is struggling. I took it out of pond. It wasn't really doing that well in pond. I don't have any of these Cuprias in pond right here, but this one I fear is just not going to do that well. So I'm not really happy with that purchase. And then I have the Latte corm grown one, and you can see those beautiful tones. I took this guy out of pond, and it gave me like a huge new leaf since then. It kind of burns into that peachy color. Love this guy. And then I have the True Pink one here. And this guy I've almost killed a couple times. This is a new leaf since transferring out of pond. You can see that beautiful variegation. It is much happier. Not in pond, I can already tell, just for more airflow and everything. So I cannot wait to see those grow here in some time. I feel like those are going to be definitely some of my favorite plants because I love Cupria so much, and it was a dream to get variegated versions of them. So I'm excited for them for this year. This is a variegated Azalani. I bought it as a corm and it sprouted. The first leaf was kind of more pink and it died off, but it is getting ready to push, I think, a new leaf here soon. But it's still in stratum. It's still kind of small. That one is taking its sweet time. And then this one is a Alocasia Black Velvet, but it's more of that gold color. This one I didn't know was a tissue culture when I bought it, so it's struggling. And it's already melted off all of its leaves. So this is the newest one, so hopefully it continues to do well. And then I have 3 plants on this row. My favorite is my pink Shan. This one here is the newest leaf on her. Hands down, one of my favorite alocasias. The pink does stay like more of a pinky when it burns in, which I love. It doesn't really fade. I guess it does fade a little bit more white, but it's like that light pink, baby pink color. She's been such an easy alocasia. I love her so much. And then I have my black velvet, pink black velvet here. A lot of pink on this one. She's currently blooming right now, so I'm letting her do her thing. That was a restart because my mother went full elbow. And then I have my Longaloba purple. The original, or the 3rd leaf on it yellowed off, so I have 2 left. Still kind of figuring this guy out. I may end up giving it more humidity. I might move it to one of the cabinets behind me and see if it does better and better humidity. Because with the doors open, it's now only 44 in here. So I feel like this guy, I struggle with this one. And then on the bottom, these three here are my dragon scales. I have two variegated ones of the dragon scale, and then I have a silver dragon. And those are kind of rehabbing. I had taken them out of pond, and then I decided that I didn't want them not in pond, so I put them back in pond, except this one, I'm testing that one in soil, and I'm testing that one in pond. I struggle with those alocasias. And then I also have another Shan down here. It's the yellow variegation. And I don't think I like this one anymore because it does a lot of the browning. You can see the newest, or this isn't the newest leaf, but it's definitely browned quite a bit. I love the Shan though, like it's such a pretty alocasia. So this one just browns very easily, whereas the pink one, I feel like that one doesn't really brown. It gets edema if you're not careful with watering, but yeah, this one definitely, I feel like this one's more finicky. I don't know if I'm gonna keep this one, but I'm leaving it in there for now. So that is the Milsbo. I have plenty of room in here to add more props. Like I said, if I wanna rearrange or add different allocation here, I can. I love the Milsbo cabinets so much. And I have the same like T8 grow lights that I've had in here. Those are going on 4 years old now, so they're still kicking strong. Back here is Marble Queen. Look how big these leaves are. I'm gonna have to extend her. She's on a coco core pole here. This is her newest one. I'm getting some pretty decent sized leaves, you know, not on a moss pole or anything. I mean, granted, she was pretty mature when I took her off the pole, but she's done so well. This is like my OG Marble Queen. I love this plant so, so much. I'm never going to get rid of her. And I'm glad I still have these, you know, big, beautiful leaves that I can enjoy. So what I'll probably do is let her grow. She has plenty of room to grow up tall before I would need to chop her or anything, but I love her so much. And then right beside her is my Monstera Mint, my jungle mint. And this one I recently chopped with you guys. It was probably 2 or 3 videos before this one. This is the base here. It had some root rot, so it's got to grow in some new roots and, you know, produce a new growth point. And then I took some mid cuttings. I don't know what I'm going to keep eventually. I will say these leaves look a bit more droopy than what they did, so she might not be rooting in here yet. I added more water over top and let it drain. So I'm going to see how she looks over the next day or two, and if this bottom section isn't rooting in pond, because that's what I was concerned about, I'll take it out and root it in water. But I have these 2 cuts, and like I probably have like 10 other huge cuts out there because my plant was huge, you know. So this I just recently did, but that's where I have this plant for now. And then the Monstera Mint here, this is like a full mint. It does have some green leaves, but the last set of leaves have been like full white, and that color is beautiful against the blue. It's so pretty, it makes it pop so much. That one I'm gonna let grow before I decide to chop that one again, but I love that plant. And then on the shelf is my Ambient begonias. These are the ones that are just growing in the room conditions here. I have the 3 set of artwork pieces. The artwork is from a shop in the UK, and I don't think she's shipping to the US because I had tried to order more prints and that's what it said. So if she ever ships to the US again, I'm gonna get some different prints because I think they're beautiful. And then up top here, I have my 2 pink maculatas. This one was the first one that I bought that I've chopped back, and I do have some new growth coming in. It was some pretty pink, this one. This strand is like low pink here. This plant grows so, so fast. I do have so many props right now growing. And this is the other one that I decided to get. This new leaf is really, really pink coming in. And then I have another growth down here that is coming in pretty pink. And then I have another growth point over here. This one's definitely more variegated, so I'm excited to see what kind of growth I'll get to come in. I want to try to let this one grow pretty big if I can. And then, you know, I'm eventually gonna have to chop it, but the leaves on this one are so much bigger than this one. I love them both, but she is beautiful. She does fine in Ambient for me. And I have my snow-capped variegated. I have the second plant here, which is growing long. And then I have the big mama on the middle shelf, and she's just massive, you guys. She's taken up that entire shelf, but she is beautiful. I'll chop her again here soon when I go to take more props, but it's gonna be a while because I am overrun with propagations. Begonia beside that one, it's Ice. I always forget the name of this one, Ice something. That one is growing like crazy. It's growing like a weed, but I love it so, so much. Oh, I forgot to show you this one. This is Begonia malacostasta or something like that. This one here, this is a restart. It was blooming. It does like these single blooms right here. Yeah. This one, I love the dark green color and the pink polka dots. It's been doing fine in Ambient as well. So that one is there. And this Soli Mutata variegated, I just moved in here. I freaking love this begonia. I paired it with a dark green pot that I have, and I really like the contrast. And you guys, it has the cutest little balloon. Let me see if I can show you up close. It has like little pink spots on it. It's the cutest little begonia bloom. I'm hoping mine comes in with more of that variegation here. I love this leaf here. It's so pretty. I am propagating several of these through leaf cutting, and I'm curious what's going to come in. So if I get one that grows in like more variegated, I think I'll grow that out maybe as a second one. But I just think this begonia is so cool. It has that cool texture. I love this guy. It grows so fast. And on the bottom, I have two begonias. You can't really see too much because of this one. I have my OG regular Micholitziana down there that's restarting. Down there. And then I have the Rouge variegated, which I am going to chop and repot that one because one of the rhizomes is all green and the other one is variegated. So I'll do that at some point. So that is my Ambient begonia shelf. And like I said, I do have more that are in high humidity in the Milsbo cabinet that I'll show you here. But I love them. And the only other two plants that are like in this corner, I have my philodendron gigas in that gold stand. And then of course I have my huge, huge Monstera albo that goes all the way up. You know, I'll have to eventually chop this albo. I can probably get a good 2 more feet of growth, and then I'm gonna have to chop. I actually had to anchor her to the wall because she was leaning so much. I did get a stand for her, like a roller cart. I end up just getting it at Lowe's when I was getting paint samples. And I actually left her in here while I was painting because I was working around a bunch of different big plants. I didn't take them all out. And so when I finished one section, I like moved all the plants, did another section, I moved all the plants around like so many different times. When I was sanding, I got so much dust on the plant. And so I managed to wrangle this big plant into the shower by myself to rinse it off. I don't know how I did it. I think I became Superwoman. So yeah, she got flush. She does have a little bit of root rot. So I think I definitely need to repot her. It's been long overdue. She's in such a tiny pot. But I'm thinking, I don't know if I want to repot her, if I'm going to be chopping her when she grows a couple more feet. I think what I'll do maybe at the end of summer, once all of the propagations I currently have of all my monsteras are less, what I'll probably do is chop her and restart her and let her like grow up. I also have another albo at the window I'll show you that's different genetics than this one. That's more white, but I think eventually I will chop her all the way back instead of trying to repot her because she's gonna get to a point where she's gonna get too big, so I'll have to eventually, you know, do something with her. So I'll let her grow for the rest of summer, and then yeah, I'll have to end up chopping her. I don't know if you can see back in the back, do you see the little white hook? So I screwed a little white hook into the wall there, and I have a piece of string, and that string is holding the pole so that it's more straight because she was definitely leaning. So it's giving a little bit more support, and she's not leaning so much like she was, but yeah, she's almost at the top of the light here. So I'll chop her eventually. And then philodendron gigas is one of the philodendron I'm going to let grow and keep. This was the top section. I love these like velvety leaves. I do have her in pawn. That was the newest one here. It's so wide, it's so beautiful. And then this one here is coming out. So I'll give her some better support here once she grows up a bit. I cut the rest of the uglier leaves away, but yeah, I'm gonna keep this one because it is more slender, more narrow, and it won't take up a lot of wide space. I don't mind the vertical space, but yeah, I really love this one. So that again is this wall here. And it's crazy how much, like I said, it's changed over the years. Once Jungle Mint, once I restart that Monstera back, this will probably be taking over this spot. I could probably move Marble Queen down a little bit. I just didn't want to block the door too much. But Jungle Mint will probably kind of live in this area. I was thinking once I chop this Monstera and restart it, you know what will probably go in this corner is my huge Tycon, because by the end of summer, this plant behind me is going to be huge. It's probably going to need a new spot. I still really like elbow in this spot, but we'll see. I'll definitely be playing around with my Monsteras because I have so many in this room. All right, I think I'll do this window area next. It's a little bit bright today with the sun, so it might be a little backlit when I show you the plants on the top of the cabinets, and then we'll go to the inside of the cabinets. I actually don't have any plants in the actual window ledge, like back there if I move this. I have my Cebu Blue. It's just a top cutting. I decided to take just a top cutting and I have it in water just to have it. I honestly don't think I'm going to let my Cebu Blue climb because it grows too fast. It climbs too fast, and I have the trailing pot out in the dining room, which I love. Even though I do love the mature leaves, I just have to think about space, and I have like Marble Queen already and my Mandula, so I can't let them all grow to maturity. And if I miss it, I can always restart it back eventually. I don't know what my plan is with the cutting. I just didn't want to say goodbye to it officially, so I have it there in water, and we'll see what I end up doing with it. And then on top of the cabinet, I have 3 plants on this side. I have my Monstera Adansonii. I have my pink variegated Alocasia Poly that I adore, and then my Monstera Double Munster that I just moved here that I love so much. So these 3 are kind of hanging out on top of this one. Here's another look at Adansonii. She's getting so big again already. It's crazy. I'll have to extend the pole here soon because she is climbing pretty quickly. But I love Adansonii. This is a plant that I'll always have in my collection. I'll never get rid of this one. And I love this one a lot more than Esqueleto. Esqueleto just got too big for me, and it runs a lot more, like produces runners, and I love my Adansonii. Thinking about how big it used to be, it's crazy that this plant used to be giant, but I love it this size too. I feel like this is the perfect size. So I love her so much. And then my beautiful pink poly alocasia. This one is so variegated. She's so beautiful. One of the easiest alocasias in my opinion. The poly. Every leaf on her is absolutely beautiful. And she's getting ready to push another new leaf. She was blooming quite a bit there too. But yeah, I love how like compact and bushy this one is. And again, I feel like the pink on mine is pretty good. Sometimes I feel like they kind of burn in where it's more muted, where it fades a little bit, but I still feel like the pink on mine stays pretty good. Like this is an older leaf, this is an older leaf, and it's still pretty pink. This beautiful leaf here, like the pink does stay for a really long time. And again, it's one of the easier alocasias. So I feel like she'll like the window spot. I decided to move this one here because I can kind of rotate it around, you know, and then I can still see the beautiful leaves. And whereas some of my other alocasias that were here, well, I only had my nobilis here. I can only see the back side of it, but I feel like I can rotate this one. If she leans a little bit too close to the sun, then I can still see some of the variegated leaves because of how bushy she is, if that makes sense. So I'll see how she does here. I think she'll like it. And then I just shared my Double Munster right here. I had repotted her in that video, and I haven't watered her again since. I was checking all the plants this morning and going around and watering, and I don't want to overdo it with this one because I had just added some water the other day when I filmed that, so I'm gonna give it some time. I'll probably give it a few more days, then I'll give her another drink. I'll have to get her back on my Saturday my Saturday routine, but this is the newest leaf. It's kind of hardened a little bit more. Not fully hardened yet. So pretty. And that was her second, or her first new leaf. And that was the original leaf. So doing well since the repot, and I cannot wait for more growth to come in. That is her, or the update on that one. This side of the window on top, I have 3 more plants. And then in the window, I have some pings, and then I do have another plant that's water propagating. So I'll go through these with you. The Monstera albo that I chopped, in the Monstera Jungle Mint video, I said I chopped another Monstera. It was this one here. It was at the window the whole time. It had gotten really tall. So I took the top cutting and I have it in water. So we're gonna water prop this, and look how beautiful this huge top cutting is. Like, look at that. I feel like this one, I don't know if this is a large form or not. So my big Monstera tree, that one wasn't my original albo. This was actually my original albo. If anyone remembers, this was the original cutting that I got from my husband back in the day. And my reel that took off like way back in the day that I made, do you remember the proud plant parent tag? I had it in the soil, so the cutting produced this new leaf. It took 1.5 years and it grew so white. It ended up getting root rot. I restarted it. And then from the restart, I planted it in pond, and then it took quite a bit to grow because it was more white. It was growing a bit more slow. But this is the growth at the top, and it wasn't even on, it was just on a stake. It wasn't on any kind of other support, and the leaves are already like way more, I feel like these are bigger than the other Monstera, and it has way more fenestrations. So I don't know if this one is a small form or a large form. If you guys know, I feel like the spacing looks like about the same. But I'm amazed at how quickly this one sized up. So I'm like, if I restart this one might take over the other one when I go to chop that one back. So I'm not sure, but she is beautiful. And I love that this one has more sectoral variegation than the marbling, because the other one is more marbled. This one has more of like the chunky variegation, and that's what I love. I love the sectoral. So yeah, I'm gonna restart this in pond again once it roots up, but this is going to be a huge Monstera. I got that cutting in 2020, so who knows? And I don't really want to show Bulbasaur because I'm going to film the 150-day update in like 2 more weeks. It's almost time to update, but let me just give you a peek at the newest leaf. Do you see that? What the heck? So I'm growing this out from tissue culture, and it's been about 120 days or like 4 months since I deflasked it, and I'm making a whole series on it. And the newest leaf compared to the latest one, it's freaking huge. I just moved it here to the window, and it's getting ready to push a new leaf very soon. I wouldn't be surprised next week this is going to push out. This is a freaking fast growing Monstera. It's doing so well from tissue culture. It's amazing. But this new leaf is absolutely stunning. I cannot wait for this Monstera to grow more. And then the other alocasia I have in the window is one of my Amazonicas. The other one is right there. I decided to put one in the window, so I'll only see the backside. But the Amazonica, you can see the difference between the poly versus Amazonica. The Amazonica, the leaves are much bigger compared to poly. And the stems, of course, get really long. They're super long. But yeah, she is at the window. I love her. And she's giving me a new leaf here. She has been blooming a little bit too. I do want to try pollinating more alocasia. Granted, the Nobilis self-pollinated, but I really want to try pollinating more because it's so exciting and fun for me. But yeah, Amazonica, this one here is doing well, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see how she does in the window spot, because I had her on the side of my cabinet, the 2 of them together, because they grew up in my cabinet and they got way too big. Then I moved them on the side, so they weren't getting like a ton of light. And so now that they're going to get more light, I feel like they're going to do better. This one actually struggled a little bit recently, and I think it's because of the lack of light. So I'll see how she does under the top grow light here, and if it's not enough, I might have to add more. I have a lot of extra grow lights, like bulb lights, clip lights. I can always add more lights and hook them onto the shelf and just like blast them with a little bit more light. So I may do that. So I'll see how they do over the next month or so. And if I need to add more light, then I'll add more. And in the window, I have a propagation. This is a variegated Adansonii. And I really wanted a variegated one. I had bought one back in the day during COVID that was so freaking expensive and it went full elbow. I had tried propagating it, couldn't save it. So I bought a new one last year and paid significantly less money. And this is like my third time trying to grow it and it's growing too fast in order for it to size up. So I took another top cutting, I have it in water. And I think what I'm gonna do, you guys, I may start it on a moss pole just to get it started. And then once it starts growing, I'll switch it to a cocoa core pole. I feel like by the time it starts on a cocoa core pole, it's like already outgrown it and it can't like latch on long enough. It just is growing way too fast. So I may, I may start it out. I have plenty of like clear plastic poles still that I saved. So we'll see. I might do that with this guy. And like I said, get it started on a pole and then transfer it off. And the last plants that are in my window are my pings and drosera. I actually redid them yesterday and I filmed it. So if you want to see that video, let me know. I wasn't sure if I should just scratch the footage. They were looking so bad, you guys. I kind of neglected them a little. I'm not good with carnivorous plants and pings. I mean, they were doing fine. These are all the same. They're all still alive. It's just 2 of them are on the struggle bus, or 3 of them are on the struggle bus. So I refreshened my pings. I like cleaned it all out. And I did the same thing to my other drosera terrarium and I separated one of them out. So yeah, they're doing well. They're doing better. I just have to keep it watered because that's the thing. I let it go too dry. And I wasn't feeding them at all. I actually bought some fish food that I lost the container. I can't find it. I don't know where I put it. So I'm gonna have to buy another thing of fish food because I'm not really having any fungus gnats right now. So they're not really getting any nutrients. So I think that was my issue too, is they weren't getting nutrients and I was underwatering them. So yeah, let me know if you want to see it. I feel like carnivorous plants is a very select group of people. And I don't know if it's worth editing the video if not that many people are interested in watching it. So let me know and I'll edit it if you want to see it. It's hard to see the goldenrod from this angle, but it has cute little crystals on it on the end, and I'm not hanging plants or anything on it, just the curtains. I don't really like hanging plant. There's a lot of traffic out that window in my windows anymore because, before when I used to have Hoya in here, dripping sap in the window brought ants in, and I'm so paranoid about that now. So I don't really put anything in the window. The carnivorous plants have always been fine. I've never had any issues with leaving those in the window. And plus occasionally when the cats want to come in here, when I'm in here watering, they like to get in the window. So I just prefer not having anything hanging in the window. Plus it blocks light coming in to the rest of the room. All right, let's go ahead and move to the cabinet. So this one here on the right, this is the one that I think I'm going to use for propagations and a lot of alocasia props and rehabs and stuff like that. So that's why it's pretty empty. I didn't get like anything special for the cabinets as far as handles or anything. I just weather stripped, and I noticed this weather stripping isn't the best, like it keeps coming off. So if you have any weather stripping that you recommend, let me know, because I've never weather stripped cabinets before. I actually had this in my closet for the longest time because I had originally bought it to weather strip my Milsbo and I never did. So this one isn't really holding humidity because there's not any plants in here. So it's only 48% in this one. But the other one is maintaining, like I said, about 80%, which is good because it has plants in it. But I weather stripped them the same. So that's interesting, I guess. I have a couple anthurium rehab and I brought my tissue cultures in here. I figured they would do better in this cabinet. You can see all that condensation building up. I do have it vented slightly, but actually let me go ahead and vent it a little bit more because I need to start acclimating them to ambient. But I have the Monstera put out a 3rd leaf, the lemon pom-pom. That's the new leaf there. It's still doing like a half moon pattern, which is pretty cool. So I'm excited for this little guy, this one. And then the alocasia still has its 2 leaves. It's working on a 3rd one it's going to push. And then the anthurium put out, I think, 1 or 2 new leaves. It looks like minty variegation. It's supposed to be a variegated dark phoenix. And then the banana is still holding on. It hasn't done anything else. No growth or anything. I can't really see too many roots, so I hope it's not going to melt and it does grow for me, but we'll see. I know in the video, some of you mentioned that yours didn't make it, so I'm hoping it doesn't melt or anything. If it does, I might try it again. I might try a new one, but they're doing well so far. So they're about halfway vented now, and then I'll eventually vent it all the way open, and then I'll probably at that point just take the lid off and leave them in here until they get pretty rooted, and then I'll pot them all up. I have those in there. And this cabinet is a lot of my newer-ish plants. I've had some plants for a while in here, and then some of these are the begonias that I shared in that begonia video. And then I have some like newer alocasia and propagations in here. I have a little hydrometer there. So this one's like roughly 80% humidity and it's 79 Fahrenheit. So I don't really want to open this to let the humidity go out. So I'll kind of show you what's in here with the doors closed, if that's okay. But oh, I forgot to mention the acrylics. Do you know that you can get acrylics on Amazon? And these were like, I don't even know how less they were than the other acrylics that I would get on Etsy. But these acrylics, there's some side acrylics shelves that I bought separately. And then this was one set. These 2 acrylics, the half shelves, and this U one, it came in one set. I think it was like $79 or $80, and you got all of those. And then the side shelves were separate. So I think those were probably another, I forget how many for the pair. So I didn't spend a lot on the acrylics. The single grow lights I already had, I reused those. I reused the extra clips that I had. The only things that I had to buy were 2 more fans. I had to get them in black. Well, actually there's 4 fans, 2 in each cabinet, because I didn't have any in white. And then I bought 2, another set of strip lights and a 2-foot one. So those are up top in white. And then my husband and I actually didn't realize the front of the cabinet was the front. So we accidentally drilled the holes on the wrong side. It was supposed to be the back. So those are in the front, which it doesn't really matter, I guess. I don't really notice it too much. And then I use the cable covers to hide all the cords so it looks pretty clean. But I love the shelving. I just have the 2 in this one and the 2 on the side. And then that's the only shelving I have in the other one. So I have a lot of space. I can always add like another layer if I feel like I need it, but I feel like props grow so quickly, so I wanted room for them to grow and everything. So up top are the 2 begonias I shared. My Jenny, which is doing really well, that was a repeat purchase. And then this pink colada, I don't even know if you can really see them that well. I lowered the tripod a little bit. So yeah, those are doing well. Those were in my quarantine bin and they were getting pretty high humidity. So they're used to high humidity, and I didn't want to put them in ambient, or I didn't want to try it since they haven't been acclimated to ambient yet. But I'll probably leave these in here because they seem like they're doing better, or they're growing really well in higher humidity. And that one back there was the one that came out during shipping. It kind of got tousled around and pretty much all the leaves melted except for 2. It is growing back, but it's not growing in pink. So I'm gonna let it grow. It seems to have stabilized, and I'll eventually prop it. And then I do have a begonia lemoon here. This one I think I got this one 2 months ago. It's actually really starting to grow. Actually, I don't think I've showed you guys this one yet. I'll open this for a second. Yeah, this one I didn't show you. This was after the begonia video. I got this one. It's starting to really push in some new growth down here. And this guy dropped all of its leaves in shipping. It was in the mail for 2 days, and I think the seller had it in high humidity because all the leaves melted on it and they all fell off, and I thought I was going to lose the whole thing. But I potted it up and immediately put it in high humidity, and it's grown like all these leaves. So I feel like it's definitely bounced back, but I thought I lost it for sure. It was just wrapped in polyfill. It wasn't wrapped in anything to like keep high humidity in. So I feel like that's why it shocked, but begonias just don't like to be shipped. So I will be anxious to eventually like prop and ship this one, but I love it. It is a beautiful begonia. I can just tell it's going to be finicky though. I'm gonna shut that back. Begonia here is that Gogoensis that I got, and it's grown so much. I love the round leaves. It kind of hardens into this beautiful green color. I don't know what color that is, but it's already growing so much already. It's crazy, but I love that guy. And then up top, I have a couple pink Micans. Those are like true pink Micans. I have a couple alocasia there in the back. I have a new genetics of Regal Shield Albo, and I have some other smaller ones here that I'm growing out. I don't think I've really shared those yet. They've been in quarantine for a bit. This big alocasia I've had for a while, that's my Sanderiana. It's supposed to be like a peachy pink, but mine is definitely not. I do have some corms that are sprouting, so if one of the corms has better genetics, I'll keep that one, but this one is just very muted variegation. I don't really like that. So I'll see how the corms come in. That was a corm grown alocasia. It's definitely sized up very quickly because I haven't had that one for that long and it's already getting huge. I'm just not a fan of the variegation that one's displaying. And then I have a Aglaonema. I don't think I've shared this one before. This is a pink lotus. It's kind of finicky, honestly. I've had quite a bit of yellowing on it and I've had it in high humidity for a bit. The new growth is coming in very small. I've repotted it, so hopefully that one does well. I got that one because of the pink. And then that plant there, I'll put the name on the screen. That one is growing like crazy. I've had that in my quarantine bin forever and I love it so much. I love the pink on it. I'm eventually going to prop that. And then in the terrarium back there is my OG pink urchin. I have 2 plants and it's grown so much. Let me see if I can open this again really quick without letting out too much humidity. Oh yeah, and I just put my variegated oxalis in here yesterday. I took care of my import, so you'll see that video soon too. But I love her so much. Look at the pink little flower. But this is my OG pink urchin that I saved, and it's already growing back so much already. I have two propagations in here and it's already blooming. She's so pretty. So I'll eventually prop her. I'm gonna keep both of these. I haven't opened or let them out of the terrarium yet because I'm worried that they won't get enough humidity. My plan was to take them out of there and let them grow like in the cabinet out of that terrarium, but I don't want to risk it right now. So yeah, this has a lot of newer plants, begonia, stuff like that. Stuff that I'm excited to grow and grow out and I'm excited to propagate for the first time. Begonias make me very anxious. I may eventually get a few more begonia, but right now I am very content with my collection and I want to grow out what I currently have before I get any more begonia, but eventually I would like to get some more in my collection. And yeah, I'm excited for some of these other ones to grow out and everything. So yeah, that is some of my newer plants here. I guess it is interesting to see the style of plants I've gravitated towards and plants I've no longer been interested in growing. Like I moved away from a lot of big philodendron and now I love my alocasia so much and my monsteras. Those are like my top 2. And then lately I've kind of gravitated or been more into begonia. And then of course I love some of my classics and everything. And you know, I have all of my Hoyas and Anthuriums that I love too, but I guess it's cool to see the change or what I've evolved into, I guess. So yeah, let's go ahead and do this corner and then we'll move to the back shelf and get finished up. Yeah, big Micholitziana. I took her to the shower. She got so much dust on her. She definitely went through a big bout of spider mites, but I've treated her several times and, you know, I loaded her up on mites. So she's good for now. I know she'll get them eventually again. It's just the name of the game with alocasia sometimes. You know, certain plants are attracted to certain pests are attracted to certain plants, and she is definitely a spider mite magnet. And it's just inevitable. So I just have to take care of them whenever I notice them pop up. But right now she is good and I just have to keep a check on her. And then over here on the floor, I put my philodendron caramel marble. This one's getting ready to bloom again. She had already put out one big bloom, but I love this plant so much. So beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful plant. And I love that the internode spacing is so short. Like this is the kind of philodendron I like, even though the wingspan is a bit wide. I just love that it doesn't climb so tall and climb so fast. But I love this plant, hands down one of my favorite plants in philodendron that I have and have grown. But yeah, she's getting ready to bloom again, which is kind of cool. And then she's getting a little extra grow light from a little clip light right there. And then I did chop my pink princess and red Anderson recently, but I took another top cutting. I actually just have it in stratum in here. And I have those leaves here, 3 leaves. And once she roots up, I'll plant her back in pond. It grows so fast. I had 2 plants recently and then I cut one back, and then I wasn't going to cut this one. I was just going to let it grow. It was already getting so tall and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and cut it. So yeah, I'm gonna restart that one. And red Anderson is getting huge already. And so I'll have a lot of red Anderson too. Look at that new half moon. Like, look at that. And I love the light pink on red Anderson. I got a little bit of browning that showed up because I had this plant out of here for a bit. It wasn't really getting any light, and so it browned in some areas when I was painting. I had moved like a good bit of plants out in the hallway. I did have a grow light, but just one, and these plants were there for like 4 days. So I caused a little bit of browning on some plants. So once they regrow, I'll let them get tall, and then, you know, I'll do what I always do. I do a top cut and I'll have a bunch of propagations from them, but I love them both. Now it is time to run through the shelf here really quick. And again, I'm still like figuring out placement with a lot of these. I did chop a lot of these as well, and some of these are restarts, just smaller plants. And I'll probably rearrange these here again soon because I do have other plants I want to bring in here. But we'll go ahead and start at the top. Like I said, that grow light I've had for a while. That's probably going on 4 years old. And let's start over here with this corner. So yeah, I have massive Mandula here. It's on 3 layers of a cocoa core pole. That was the continuation of the old moss pole that I had before I took it off. I'm thinking about not letting that one climb anymore. I haven't decided, but I don't know. Because I have a trailing pot in there that I propagate from in the nursery room. I think the big leaves are beautiful, but I do have Marble Queen, which I love more than Mandula. So I don't know, I haven't decided. Just like my Cebu Blue, I haven't decided if I should let that one climb or not. I'm just so torn sometimes between some of these climbing plants, like what to do with them. I'll have to decide soon because it'll be time to either chop it or do something with it, but I may eventually not let that climb anymore. So if it's missing one day, that's probably what happened. Yes, my plant room inspo came from Monstera Tycon in that plant shop. I will pop a picture on the screen of what I was trying to hit with, you know, what I wanted to do for this space. And because I have a huge Tycon now against this blue color, like I freaking love this plant. This leaf is huge already, this massive plant. And this new leaf is going to be humongous that it's getting ready to spit out. So definitely a huge Monstera this year. It's finally going to be the year that my Monstera Tycon takes off, which I'm excited for. I've had this plant for such a long time. I got this. This was the very first plant I featured on my channel 4 years ago. So I've been growing this plant for like 4.5 years at this point. It's crazy. But I'm excited for her to get big this year. All right, beside Tycon is my Nobilis, my pink Nobilis. She's got 3 leaves right now. And again, she was at the window, so all these leaves were facing forward. And she was the one that had the berry, pollinated berry that selfed. So I have 3 more inflows on her. 2 looks like they're fading. And then I think I have a new leaf spike coming in finally. I do have her on a stand just to elevate. I have a couple stands just so that they're kind of elevated and not all straight going across. But I love that alocasia. I love that it's not fast growing. It does have really long petioles, like really long stems, but I love her. And I'm hoping I get one of her seeds comes in with more pink. I'm really hoping for something unique out of that batch that happened, but we'll see. But yeah, her variegation is kind of muted. Like mine, it doesn't really hold on to the pink. It's kind of more of that muted, but I love the shape of her. I think the shape is so cool. So love her. Back to another Monstera is my Monstera aurea. This one is a restart of my huge plant. I did get quite a bit of browning that happened. I had this big plant out of my plant room as well. The 2 newest leaves, well, this one's starting to brown. But yeah, I feel like once she stabilizes, hopefully the browning stops. I do have an issue with browning on this plant. I used to not get as much browning when she was in soil. And you know, I had the plant pretty big in soil, but I wanted to grow it in semi-hydro. But ever since moving it to semi-hydro, I mean, she hasn't been in there that long. So I'm hoping it stabilizes once I get like a good consistent routine going. But she has been browning recently, but I just attribute that to moving her because she was at the window and now she's probably getting a bit lower light. And, you know, she was out of my plant room for like a good 4 days. I can't let any more aerial roots hit the wall. So I'm either gonna chop them or try to get them back down into the substrate. I'm gonna have to keep a better eye on my aerial roots. But yeah, I love that yellow pop against the teal. It is so pretty. Beside Monstera aria is my huge venom. I love this alocasia so much. It is massive. It's getting ready to push another new leaf. It's been popping a lot of leaves lately. It did flower there for quite a bit and then it quit. I don't know if I'm gonna keep this one in this spot or not. I may move it actually to the window area, but we'll see. I feel like I could squeeze another plant at the window. Because like I said, eventually as these monsteras grow, I'm going to have to move some of these plants around. I do have this one elevated on a little stand here. But yeah, denim, love this plant so much. And then I have my Florida Ghost restart here. I love this philodendron. I'm excited to get this one restarted. I just have it sitting right here for now just to kind of fill in this empty spot, but I don't think I'm going to leave it here. It's not really getting a ton of light in this spot. It's kind of shaded from with the other plants above. So I'll eventually find a spot for it, but I'm excited to grow that one back. Up on another plant stand is my other Amazonica. This one here just pushed out a huge new leaf and it is so pretty. It's not as variegated. There's a little bit of variegation, but you see how big it is? Like it's huge. And the veining is so prominent. And look how long that stem is. Like that is crazy. It's so long. This beautiful half moon one is still holding on. Now this one got a little bit unhappy. It started to brown a little, which I think was because it was getting lower light. It still has like this leaf and then this long leaf back here. So it's got 4 leaves. I think, yeah, this is the newest one. So it's not going to push out a new leaf yet, but hopefully it likes its spot over here. I'm going to see how it does. But it's a pretty big alocasia. I don't think you can see the full thing of it. Let me move this leaf out of the way. There's like a different angle so you can kind of see how big it is. Like it's a huge alocasia. I moved my huge Monstera flame over here. This one was at the window. I wanted to move it away from the window because the petioles were so long that it was smashing into the window. And these shelves, these cabinets are a bit closer to the window now. I did chop this one recently and I did film that, and it hasn't put out a new leaf from the chop yet. This was the latest leaf. I have one fenestration right here. Yeah, so this is the newest leaf here. It had its first fenestration, but yeah, it's getting ready to push a new leaf soon. This will be the first new leaf post chop. So I'm very excited to see that. And I love her in this spot. I love seeing her like facing forward. So she's getting the light from that light up above, and then she's getting lit a little bit of that light there. So I feel like she's getting like a decent amount of light. And the south window is right here too. So she'll definitely grow forward. But I'm really excited to see this plant by the end of summer. It's gonna have all this room to grow as tall as it can, and then I'll chop it again. But I'm really hoping for more mature leaves on this one. Definitely one of my favorite plants that I own. I just love the skeletal look. I just, hands down, I love this plant so much. I didn't think I would love this plant as much as I did, but I grew it from a tiny tissue culture. And the plant that it is today, I just adore it so much. Easily in my top 5 for sure. In this little pot here is my Heterophylla. It's actually a restart from my big mother plant. I decided to downsize my big mother plant because she had some raw issues and pond, and after I repotted her, I felt like she was doing a lot of yellowing. So I am just going to grow out a new mother plant here and let it regrow. So I have her there. I have a variegated silver sword in pond right there on top. I'm gonna have to move this one soon because I feel like it's going to hit the grow light in no time. I love this plant. This was a restart from one of the propagations I took. So once this one grows some more, I will chop it and get some more propagations, but I'm gonna let it grow a bit more before I do that. I feel like this plant is completely underrated. It is so beautiful. This is my Drosera terrarium that I redid. So it's part of the video I did with the pings. I did them together. So I completely cleaned it and redid this. So if you want to see that, let me know. I took the big guy out and I put him in a separate container. But I do have footage of me doing all this, but I had a little bit of rot issues and it just got so dirty that I just wanted to refresh them. So happy I did that. Hopefully they all do okay. But this one's more of like an open terrarium, but I'm gonna leave. I've had this set up for a couple years at least. So it was just time for a good clean out. Beside that is my philodendron patriciae. I really wanted this philodendron and it's starting to grow a little bit more. I feel like it's taken forever. I have a new leaf coming in. My original plan was to grow this one on top of my cabinet, so I may eventually move it there. But I really liked this philodendron. I liked the look of it. I love the longer leaves, so I'm really excited for this plant. I got it as a tiny like little seedling. So crossing my fingers, I get some good growth on it this summer. I'm really excited for it. That's the biggest leaf that I've gotten on it so far. And this plant here is my OG strawberry shake. Look how beautiful she is. It grew back from a node. I mentioned like I didn't even know I still had this plant, but I found a node that grew in one of my prop bins and I decided to keep it because it was coming in so variegated. And this has creeped up to, again, like one of my favorite plants right now because I love all the colors. It reminds me of the caramel marble in a way. She's so pretty. I love her so much. I'm gonna move this alocasia down for a minute. Okay, and these two plants are my variegated Thanksgiving cactus and my variegated Christmas cactus. Again, I love these plants so much. They both bloomed for me earlier this year. This one has really dark red, like cherry burgundy leaves, and this one has more of a hot pink leaf. And I love them. They're doing so well. I can't wait to propagate them both. I will take clippings once I get my propagations under control because yeah, I cannot propagate anything else at the moment, but I love these plants so much. I feel like I'm starting to lose my voice. I had this one on the plant stand. This is a restart of one of my pink variegated bambinos. So I actually have two of them. It's not focusing there. I have this one and then I have this one. This one here. I'm thinking about maybe letting these grow in the cabinet, but I'm not sure because like I said, I need to create some space over here. This is kind of crammed. But I have two. I wasn't going to keep two mother plants. I was going to just grow one out, but since I have two, I feel like I might as well because these were originally in my Milsbo for a long time, but I decided to move them out. But yeah, I'm gonna let them both grow back and we'll see where I want to put them long term, but right now I just kind of have them on the shelf over here. And this one here is it's supposed to be a Amazonica pink tie. So this is in between a poly and a regular Amazonica. I have a full pink leaf and then these ones are coming in with no variegation at all. So I hope I get some more variegated leaves. It's kind of reverted on me. I grew this from a corm. I do have a new leaf coming in, so I hope it's variegated. But yeah, it's like in between a poly and Amazonica. I mentioned I might downsize some of my Syngonium plants because I kind of fell out of love with them. I have these clippings in water. I took some clippings and what I'm thinking I might do is just create one big pot of Syngonium. I still have the Chia Pence variegated down here, which I love. And I have a couple in my nursery room. I'm gonna downsize the Aria one because I feel like I don't like that one as much as some of these other ones. So this is my original Syngonium albo. And then I also have a Syngonium Batik albo variegated. I do really like these ones. They are a spider mite magnet for me, Syngonium are, and because they have that thinner leaf, so I have to be mindful of that. But I don't know if I love these as much as I once did, but I don't want to let them go. I propagated the rest of the plant, but I kept some top cuttings. So I may just let it regrow and just combine them because I have the white butterfly variegated now too, which I really love that one. So I haven't decided for sure yet, but I might downsize. All right, a few more plants to finish up. This is my variegated Micans, but it's the Aria. And I love this plant so much. I recently propagated this. It was growing on the wall, and I have a lot of new leaves coming in, a new growth. Looks like some may have reverted, but that's okay. It kind of burns into this like peachy color, and I'm trying it out in pond. I haven't grown this one in pond, but I'm very curious how it's going to do long term. It seems like it's rooting okay in here. But I'm gonna let this one trail and let it, I'll probably have it up here and let it trail down, I'm not sure, but I cannot wait for this one to regrow. I love this one, and I got the pink one recently, which I'm excited for. This one is the Chia Pens variegated. This is a restart. It can revert quite easily, which I've chopped this one back so many times. So I feel like this time I finally have some good growth going on. I actually have 2 growth points in here that activated. This one here, Half Moon, beautiful. And then I have one over here that's still spitting some like beautiful variegation. So I can't wait for the regrowth on this. Definitely, I feel like very prone to reversion, this guy. And the last plant that I squeezed down here is my Gloriosum philodendron type 2. It's pushing a new leaf. This was a propagation. I originally kept the base of the plant. I filmed this with you guys, but I decided to keep the top cut, the top section. It is just now, I think, starting to root a little bit. And I'm gonna keep the top section, and then I propagated the rest of the plant up. So I'm gonna grow those out from probably nodes and then see what comes in. But mine is pretty variegated, this one here. So I'm excited to regrow this one because mine just got kind of crazy and off the pot, and I'm having a hard time sizing this one up. So I'm gonna see how the restart does, if it, hopefully it sizes up for me, but I just kind of have it crammed down here for now. So the ones I just showed you are on the bottom shelf there. And then, like I said, these pink bambinos, I think I'm gonna move them to the cabinet, and then I'll have more room to kind of space things out, because like I said, I have a few more plants I would like to go ahead and put back in here. I can definitely tell I've been talking for a while. I think that pretty much wraps up my room in here. Again, I love it so, so much. The color is everything to me, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. I'm excited for a lot of the plants in here and regrowing a lot of them. And I just love the space so much more now. And yeah, I'll do another walkthrough, like I said, next month, and anything I decide to change or add in here, you guys will see in that video. I'm sure this other cabinet will be full. I'm sure I'll fill it up in no time. Yeah, I really hope you enjoy the new space though. Let me know what you think down below. I am going to get some water and take a little bit of a talking break. But again, thank you so much for watching and for being here, and I will see you in the next one.